Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope we all had a stressful day, a stress-free day, rather. Good afternoon. I can see you, Mr. Rotimi, Mr. Aziz, Omola. Welcome to our training. Yes, I'm here, Mr. Aziz. We are here. The OGSERA customer support team lead. I hope you can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just say I can hear you, please. I need someone in the comment section to just tell me I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
good
you very
afternoon. I can
much,
hear you too.
Shitu. Thank you very much, Shitu Kola. So good afternoon. Okay, thank you very much. So today we are going to be commencing, owing to the fact that we started examinations, our third term examinations, and
Yep.
we need to train ourselves. So our promotional, third term promotional exam could be seamless and stress-free. So that is the main purpose for this training. That is the main purpose for this training. So we are going to be going through all of the steps one after the other. And permit me to introduce our facilitators and my colleagues to us. So with me here, I have Ojeremi, Mr. Ojeremi Precious, which is also my colleague, and I have Mr. Akindeni Isiaka, the product manager for Edutams. So I have Mr. Akindeni Isiaka in the building. So without much further ado, we are going to be commencing straight, and we're not going to be wasting much of our time. So once again, good afternoon. So before we proceed, I would like to give the modalities for this training. Please, we understand that we would be needing, we would have questions. So in order for us to be able to answer and take each of our questions, please drop your questions in the comment section. We are going to be picking them one after the other, and we are going to be treating them. So please drop your questions in the comment section. And we just started. Please, you can also rebroadcast, share the link to your colleagues, so it is going to be easy for us to, so we can all achieve the aim of getting our results quickly, so that our students can get their report card and they can all get promoted. So once again, thank you very much for joining the live session for today's training. So without more further ado, I'm going to be bringing Mr. Akindeni to the platform. But please also, I would appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to our channel, so that other people can easily track this, and also they can easily get the information we pass across through our social media. So Mr. Akinde Isiaka, can you hear me, sir? Mr. Akinde Isiaka, are you with us, sir? I can hear audio, please. Audio is okay, please. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? From my hand, my audio is fine. My audio is fine. From my end, my audio is fine. If you can't hear me, please just let me know. Notify me, please. Okay. So we are going to be diving straight into the training. So basically, this training is basically for the SPA. The meaning of SPA is School Portal Administrator, and the head of school. The head of school could either be the principal or the head teacher of the school you are currently in. So either we need both the SPA and the HoS of your school to be in attendance in order for us to go through successfully. So basically, and I'm also going to be clearing some misconceptions, everything. Every of the broadsheets and the report card, everything is going to be online. The system is going to automatically compute all of them. The system is going to compute the calculation. So it is not that you are doing the calculations afresh from your end. The system is automatically going to calculate both the first, the second, and the third term, the cumulative, the average, and also the HOS is going to be the one to do the promotions. Okay. I can see your comments. So please keep on dropping your questions. Keep on dropping your questions while I get Mr. Kinde online. Please keep on dropping your questions. So, Mr. Kinde, can you hear me, please? Are you with me? Okay, I can see you, Miss Oluyemisi Olaito, Mr. Mosu. Okay, the network is very bad in your environment. I understand, and that is one of the major reasons why we're streaming here on YouTube, so that you can easily retrace it back. The step-by-step solution to your problems. Yeah. Okay. I hope you can hear me now. I hope you can hear me now. Yes. Mr. Kindeng, are you with me, sir? Mr. Kindeng, are you with me, sir? Okay, so while Mr. Precious, are you with me? Are you okay? I didn't get that you okay. Mr. Precious, Mr. Precious, are you with me, sir? Okay. Mr. Kindeng. Okay. Okay, Mr. Kindeng. So I'm sorry, I think we lost Mr. Kinde. So still while Mr. Kinde is trying to connect, I'll be taking some of the questions. I can see some questions here, so I'm going to be taking some of the questions through the whole session. So yeah, I have a question here that says by Adeton Adewale. He says we need full and clear explanation on how to print results and also on promotions processing. That is duly noted. You are going to be taking through all of that process. So I also have I have Ayondele Ayongbemi. I have problems with some first term report sheets, especially SSU Humanities, Economics. Please, what can I do? Currently, I can't. You didn't specify what exactly is, so I do not know how to tackle that with you. So until you specify what exactly the problem is, that is when I can help you out with that. And if you still couldn't get that, then please use the help desk. But currently, if you still answer your question right now, please explain explicitly what your problem is, so I can help you with that. So I have Mr. Ojedokun Samuel. He said, please, are we still going to write and submit hard copy score sheet? Sir, with the whole with the current trend in education system in Ogun State, your score sheet, your report card is online. You are not doing any hard copy. So all of your report cards and everything is done online with your broadsheet and your report card. It is done online. So I in a situation by Adebayo of Milola, in a situation whereby Mark recorded is not uploading. What can we do? I will be thinking or guessing what you are saying is in a situation whereby you are trying and probably you couldn't. So this is the scenario. What could probably happen is probably your network. We understand that we have a peculiar situation in Nigeria, which is network issues. So there is tendency that it is either your network or your cache. It is either your network or your cache is currently. It is either your network is not okay, or your system or your device has currently cached. So what you're going to do is you go to your browser history, you clear your cache. While you've cleared your cache or your browser history, then you reload your system or your device, either your laptop or your desktop or your phone, you reload it. And if it is advisable for you to restart such device, and if it still persists after restarting, then please change your network. So please change your network. So I'm going to be picking another question. In fact, till Mr. Akinden is online. So I have how can we get the percentage result of each student by Mr. Aziz Odedairo? Yes, when you're done computing your results, your entire results, when you're done uploading, you've submitted, you've approved, you've published, the system is going to calculate the percentage for you. We are going to be taking you through that in some couple of minutes right now. So you're going to be getting that. Mr. Kinden, are you with me, sir?
Yes, yes, I am. I am.
Okay.
Thank you
Mr.
for
Precious,
holding
are you
up.
with me? All right.
Yes,
So
I'm
right
with you.
now,
I'm
Mr.
with
Kinden is
you.
going to be taking through the sessions of the entire result processing process for this third term promotional exams. So, Mr. Kinden, please, you have the.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, screen split. So right now I'm trying to share my screen. Let me know if my screen is showing. Right. So is my screen showing?
Okay.
Let me know if it is.
Yes, you can see your screen, sir.
Okay, good. All right. So welcome everybody once again to this section. And basically, what we are just taking you through this session is, the basic key thing that you need to do as an SPA for this third term promotion result setting. Okay, so I'm just going to be running us through some of the key things that we'll need to do, like more like saying the practical section. Okay, so once you're logged into your school portal, right, on your platform, the key thing you need to do as an SPA is to check the result setting. All right. So the ministry has set its own result setting, which is a standard for all schools to adopt, right? But because of the peculiarity of some schools, probably your school is in your area and you might not want to use the standard that the ministry have set. So the system also provides the opportunity for you to, set the criteria based on what suits your school. Okay. So one of the key things you need to do is to go to your results. If you go to result, if you can see my screen right now, you go to results, you will see the option of promotion settings. Okay. So if you click on the promotion settings, the page kind of like displays for you. Okay. So ensure that once the page opens, ensure that you see that you have program. All right. So if I say primary, for example, then I can see the view default setting here. So view default setting means that I want to view the setting that what the state government or what the ministry have set, that this is the benchmark or this is the standard or this is the criteria that we are using. So once I click on that setting, the page kind of like displays for me. Okay, so I'm going to see, like in this case now, the ministry have set that compulsory subject to pass mark 40, and the subject is for mathematics and English. So they are yet to set the other subject. So what you are just doing here, you are checking if this criteria suits with your own criteria. Okay, if it is okay, if you would like to adopt this criteria, it means that you don't need to do any other setting. Just proceed to your own result upload. But if the setting that I'm seeing here, if that is not what we want to use for my school, maybe because of my school peculiarity, maybe we want to bring the pass mark down a bit, okay? So that is when I now need to change the setting, okay? And if I'm going to change the setting, the process is just very, very simple. I just come here. You see that there is this option, use cumulative pass mark. So I select it. I select the option of no. All right. I hope I'm not too fast. So quickly just help me direct if I'm not too fast. You can also use the chat section to let me know if I'm fast or if I'm not too fast. So I can take it a bit, one step at a time. Because one of the key essence is to ensure that we all get the process okay. So chat section if I'm okay, or if it's okay for me to proceed, or probably I need to take a step back. So I would wait for your feedback, Queensley. Okay. So can I proceed? Okay. So I'm kind of like waiting for that confirmation to proceed from Queensley. Okay.
Please do. I'm with you.
All right, awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so in this case now, I am changing the promotion setting. I don't want to use the one that the ministry have set. So maybe because I want to use my own, the one for my school. All right, so remember, this use cumulative pass mark, I set that to no. Okay, so then I come here, you will see this option, compulsory elective. So for compulsory subject, the action box here, I click on it, then I click on edit. Okay, so once the box opens, so it asks me, total, what is the compulsory subject that the student must pass? Remember, it is compulsory that you must follow the standard that the ministry has set. The only thing that you can do is to probably lower the mark. All right, if you are not using, say for example, ministry has set that student must pass maths and English at least 40%. Maybe because of your school peculiarity, you do not want to use that 40. Maybe you want to use 35, for example. So it is compulsory that you must follow that standard. You must follow that same template that the ministry have set. So in this case, I'm putting total number of compulsory subject 2. All right. So I included that. How many subjects compulsory? 2. So what's the pass mark? So because in this case, I'm not using 40 that the ministry have set. Say for example, I'm using 35. And this is because of the peculiarity of my school. Don't forget that. Okay. So once I've included that, so I include, what I'm doing here is that I'm listing out those subjects. So what are the subjects? Um, English, I select it. Then mathematics, I also select the mathematics there. All right. So then I click on save. So that in that case, what I have done is I have said, okay, for my school, what we are doing is that composite subject that student must pass is 2, and the minimum pass mark that they must have is 35. So I have set that. Okay. So the next thing which I do is that under the elective as well, I click on the action box there. When once you click on it, you click on the edit section. Okay. So what you are doing here as well is that, okay, so what are the other subjects that the student must pass? For example, the ministry have set that student must pass maths and English 40, and say maybe 40 in any other 4 subjects, for example. So in this case now, I put 4 subjects. Then what is the pass mark that they must pass? So I put 40. Then here, so what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to now list all the remaining subjects that we have. What it means here is that, so the student must pass, once the student pass any 4 out of all the subjects that I listed here, the student pass 40 out of any 4 that I listed here, together with the compulsory subject. So that student will be automatically promoted. So I won't say because of the fact that I said 4 here, I will now include only 4 subjects. Say for the subject that we do in primary, maybe the total subject minus maths and English is 10, for example. So I'm going to list out all the 10 subjects in this space. So let's say, for example, we have say basic science and technology, for example. So we have Yoruba, for example. So what I'm just going to ensure that I do here is that I list out all the subjects that we have, okay, in that primary, aside from maths and English. So what the system is going to do is that once the child score 40 that we have set here in English and maths, and also 40 in also any other subject, any other four subject that I've included here, that student will be automatically promoted. All right. So basically, that is just what you will be doing in this section. So the promotion setting is very, very easier like that. For now, right? For those of us that are in the primary section, the ministry is yet to complete that particular setting. So they've only set for maths and English yet. I'm sure before the end of today or tomorrow, that setting will be fully there as to what is the full criteria for the primary section. But for those of us that are in the secondary section, I'm sure that if you check that view setting, you will have seen all of the various settings that the ministry have set as a criteria for schools to follow or for schools to adopt. Okay. For those of us that will be changing, the key thing that we just need to understand here is that you need to follow the same standard that the ministry have set. But once when you are setting the elective subject, all right, so you will list out all the remaining subjects. Then how many subjects must the student pass? You put the subject here, and what is the total number of mark scores that they must have? You put it here. All right. So what the system will be checking for is if you have set that compulsory subject, maths and English, the student must pass at least 35. Then any other subject, maybe we have like 10 subjects, the student must pass maybe 3 or 4 out of all of those subjects. So that is what the system will be using to check to automatically promote the student. All right. So that is basically what we are doing in this promotion setting. All right. And people that will be doing it, of course, definitely are the SPs. Okay. So, and also one of the interesting things that we also need to take note is that the ministry would also be able to, for those of us that are changing, that are not using the default standard that the ministry have set. Of course, the ministry also has the ability to also check and approve whether it's okay or not. So we should also have that at the back of our mind when we are choosing our own criteria or our own criteria based on our school needs. Okay. So once we have done that, we have scaled through that first particular section, and that's one of the key things that SP needs to do. Once you have done that, so teachers can proceed to uploading their normal results, which is the normal upload score that we usually do. Okay, once teachers upload, then they submit their scores. Okay, so the other compulsory thing that SPA will need to do, which is quite normal, like the same thing that we do almost every time for result processing, is you go to your broadsheet for this term. For example, now you go to your broadsheet once teachers have uploaded all their scores. You go to your broadsheet, then you approve. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so one interesting thing that I would like to note here is that if you scroll to the last page, okay, I'm trying to do that now. Excuse me, please. All right, if you scroll to the last page, you will notice that there is first term, second term, and third term. All right. Oh, okay. Sorry, Quincy, can you please just take over for a while?
Okay. Sorry for that. I think Mr. Isiaka lost his connection, so he's trying to come on board. So while he's still trying to do that, also, we'll still be taking some of those question and answer sessions. So we'll still be taking some of those question and answer sessions while he's still trying to sort the issue of his internet. So, Mr. Precious,
Yes, I'm with you.
are you with us? So please, can you just take a question, one of those questions that we have in the comment section, please, and answer them, please. Thank you.
All right. Afternoon, everybody. Uh, I'm going to pick a question that I'm seeing here, and the question is about results uploading. I just want to say a quick thing about this, so that at least everybody we can be on the same point. And the question says, Please, in a situation where it shows uploaded successful and the marks is still showing zero, how do we rectify it? Alright, about this, I hope everybody can hear the question. Let me repeat the question again. He said, please, in a situation where it shows uploaded successful and the marks column is still showing zero, how do we rectify it? Alright, if you are facing this kind of problem, it means you are uploading an empty file. It's a simple thing. And it is an empty file in the scores. After inputting the scores into the alright, you have to save it. If you are using a computer, you have to click on Ctrl S to save the file. And if you are using a phone, to save the in my school, some students didn't see their two things can cause this. And the first thing that can cause this is either that is a file that has no scores in it. The SPA has not approved, or the HOS has not appear on report card. It has to the subject is generally. You submit the scores. You go through the broadsheet and thank you for that. Please, if you understand, you can drop you can drop your this thing on the comment section if you understand what I said earlier. Thank you. And I will be also picking some more questions. All right. Particular about question said, is it compulsory that this is strictly. He said, is it compulsory the student pass trade subject? He said, is it compulsory the student pass trade subject? The main man will talk about this very for some minutes time. All right. If you follow what he has said earlier, we have compulsory subjects colon, we have elective subject, and we have trade subject. If you set compulsory subject to be two, that is math and English, the student must pass the compulsory subject. And you indicate after setting the pass mark for the compulsory subject, the if you set the pass and the compulsory subject to be two, you write out the two subjects. There's a column for that in the settings. You might have saw that when he was talking about it. You you write out the two subjects, and the student must pass the compulsory subject. That is compulsory. And under elective, you write you write out the number of elective subjects they must pass with the compulsory subject. That is, if you set compulsory subject to be two and elective subject to be four, after passing the compulsory subject, the student must pass another elective. Under elective, sorry for that, the student must pass another 4 subject under elective, and like you did for compulsory subjects, after indicating that the elective subject to be passed are 4, you write out the 4 subject too. You write out the 4 subject, but under elective, under compulsory you only write out the 2 compulsory subjects, but under elective you set the number of elective subject they must pass, and when you are writing out the subject under elective, you write out all the subject they are offering apart from the 2 compulsory subjects, and apart from the 2 compulsory subjects, because if you set elective subject to be 4, and your student are apart from the if you set the elective subject to be 4, and apart from the compulsory subject, if your student are offering like 10 subjects, that means the student must pass the only 4 you set out, you write out, sorry. So when you are writing out the subject under elective subject, you must write out all the 10 subjects. So if the student pass any 4 out of the 10 subjects, the student is good to go. And including the trade subject, there is a column for the trade subject, but so that it will be easy for you, you include the trade subject under the elective subject. You write out all the subjects including the trade subject under the elective.
Well,
I hope you can
to
understand.
just to
So
also
I
add more
will.
to that question that
All right.
Pressure just responded to. For each of us, you will see that ministry, you will see the criteria that the ministry have set. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the student must pass trade subjects. It's not actually compulsory. What the standard that the ministry is putting forward for most of us, especially for those of us that are in the second senior section, junior section, and senior section, you will have seen that that criteria has been set. It is that the student must pass 40% in maths and English, and 40 in any other, I think 5 or 6 subjects. So if trade subject is part of that 6 subject, fine. If trade subject is also not part of that 6 subject, fine. It's just that for that student to be promoted, the student must meet that particular criteria. Okay, so when you are setting your criteria, also try to adopt that particular standard that the ministry have set. Okay, so if it is not compulsory, not necessarily compulsory for the student to pass trade subject. Okay, once the student pass any other subject, once the student pass any other subject that has been listed or right there, the student would automatically be promoted. So it's not necessarily compulsory in this case. So I don't know, Quincy, let me know if it's okay for me to share my screen now so I can just take the other section of it.
Okay, please carry on.
Okay, so right now I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. All right, so once we have, can I proceed now, Quincy, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, so once we have done your criteria, promotion criteria, whether you are deciding to adopt the one that the ministry have set, or you have decided to change it to your own school peculiarity. Once that has been done, it means that you are done with the promotion criteria. Okay, so teachers can continue to proceed with their normal uploading and also submitting their score. Once they are done with all of that, okay, so where the whole promotion exercise is going to take place definitely is in the broadsheet. Okay, so once you come to your broadsheet as the SPA, say once teachers are done uploading all their scores, okay, you click on the approve broadsheet. Okay, the moment you click on approve broadsheet, this will calculate all the calculation for both first term, second term, and third term. Okay, you will notice, I'm going to try to show us that now. You notice that if I scroll now, okay, if I scroll to the edge now, you will notice that there's a calculation for first term. All right, so the system will automatically bring the student average score for first term, for second term, and for third term. Everything will be together in the broadsheet, and also what is this accumulated average performance as well, and also the position. Okay, so once you have done that, you have done your own part as the SP. All right, so the next layer is now for the HOS. Okay, and what the HOS will be doing in this case is also to um, recommend promotion. So if I'm the HOS, for example, now when I log into my own case, what I will be saying is recommend promotion and also publish. Okay, I'm also going to be showing us an example of what HOS, what it looks like for HOS. So just like a second, so while I quickly log in as an HOS to show us what the HOS looks like. Okay. But the basic thing that we should all take note of here is that very importantly for the promotion criteria, you need to decide if you are adopting the one that the ministry have set as a criteria, or you want to change it to your own school peculiarity. And remember, whenever you are changing, what you are just changing, what you are just permitted to change here is just maybe the pass mark. Maybe where the ministry have set 40 because of your school peculiarity. Say for example, your school is in one of the rural areas, for example. Now maybe we are not using 40 as a pass mark. Say for example, we are using 30 or 35 as a pass mark. That is still understandable, but you must also ensure that you follow that same standard or that same criteria that you saw on that particular page. Okay. And once you have done that on your broadsheet, you go to the approve, you approve. So as the HOS now, what I'm doing as the HOS majorly, I also go to the broadsheet. Okay, so it's just like a very simple process, like the normal process that we are all used to doing before. Okay, so let's just try to do that as an example now. Okay, so as the HOS, what I'll be doing now is so I will be recommending promotion based on what is here. Okay, based on what I've seen that the SPA has approved. So what I need to do from here is to recommend promotion. So the moment I recommend promotion, all right, so the system will automatically promote students based on that criteria that we have set in that promotion setting. If you have said that you are using the standard of the ministry, fine. If you have also defined that you are using your own, fine. All right. So the moment HOS click recommend promotion, that is when the system will promote those who are promoting and also will not promote those that did not meet with that particular criteria. Okay. So one also interesting thing which we have also done here is that for those that did not meet that particular criteria and you still want to promote them, all right, just you see that it's going to give them this X sign. It means that those students are not promoted. If you want to promote them, just tick on them, all right. So it's going to give them that the green sign, all right. So but those that did not meet, those that automatically meet the promotion criteria, all of them will definitely have the green sign. It means that those kind of students have been promoted to the next class. All right. Say if there's a student now and we see that maybe this student does not meet that particular does not meet that criteria, and you still want to promote that kind of student. All right. So once you click on this X sign, all right, so that student will be promoted. So it's like very simple in those instances. All right, so those are just some of the key interesting things, and it's like it's also a very straightforward process. All right, so you're just doing that setting, and once you have done that setting, the student will be automatically promoted. This also helps to save the process of when we say we are doing ashobura. So it means that for this term there is no manual process. Everything is going to be done online. All right, so it means that for this term you're not doing any manual broadsheet processing. Everything will be done directly from the OGSERA platform. So I'm also going to show us an example of what the student's final promotional result looks like. Okay, so let's just quickly show you what that looks like. So that would also make sense as well. Just a second while I try to do that. Uh, so one interesting thing again is that class teachers as SPA, you must also remember to remind your class teachers to mark their attendance, because for this term, the attendance would display on the student result. So let's try to view a student result in this case. So we'll be able to see what it looks like. Okay. So as SPA, remember to follow up with the class teachers to ensure that they mark their attendance, because attendance will be displaying on the student results for this particular term. So we'll just try to, okay, the result is not published yet, so just hold on a sec. Uh, So as HOS, once I have recommend promotion, what I'm going to do is also, let me see, to ensure that I promote all the students in that class. Okay. All right. So then I publish. Remember, I have to publish that result before students will be able to access that result. All right. So once that is published, so let's try to view the results again. All right, so this is what the student result will look like now. All right, you will see that on the student result, they will be promoted to the next class. All right, and number of times school open, total number of times school is present. All right, so in this case, once teachers have marked their attendance, this will automatically show total number of time present and total number of time that is the student is absent. So as SPA, you also need to follow up with the various class teachers to ensure that they mark their attendance respectively. Okay, so those are just some of the key interesting things that pertains to the result processing. Very simple, not too much stress, not too much work. You're just setting your promotion setting. All right. Once you have set that, decide whether you are using what the ministry have set or you are using your own. Once that is done, then every other process has been solved for you. So that is just some of the key process that will be taken for this particular section, for today's section. Okay, so um, right now we could take, for those of us that have questions, we could drop your questions in the comment section. So I'm sure we'll be responding to those questions from there. So that is just it, basically. From my own end, Queensley. So um, that's it from my own end. So we could take the question and answer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isiaka, and for the amazing session we just had. So before I open the floor for the question and answer session, I'm just going to be debunking some misconceptions that I've been saying. So as regards, I've been saying in the broadsheet, we still have to write the broadsheet, the hard copy. We still have to write the report card, the manual with the traditional way which we were used to before the advent of OGSERA. So I'm going to be debunking all of that. That no, all computations are going to be done from your OGSERA platform. So you do not need to calculate for your cumulative average, your total weighted scores and all of that. The moment you upload, the system automatically calculates for all of your students. And also, I've been seeing I've been seeing a bit of a misinformation about the attendance marking, whereby some people are thinking that once they mark for the morning, it is automatically going to mark for the afternoon. So I'm going to be saying that OGSERA platform was built um, using the same schema for the previous traditional method in which we use for our attendance. So whereby you mark in the morning and you mark in the afternoon. So it's the same way also online. It is the same way also online. It's the same way also on the OGSERA platform. So, Mr. Jeremy Pressure, oh, while I still get some other ones, I'm going to be notifying you. But still, while before Mr. Jeremy Precious takes the question and answer session, please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updated and you can get information promptly. Like if you get information, you get updated, and also for the algorithms also tell and notify all of other teachers so that they can know that there's a platform where they can easily get their question and answer sessions. There's a platform where they can easily get their informations. And also this session is not going to be today is not going to be the only session we are going to also be having. We're also going to be having
Which
Sorry,
one?
I am so sorry, everybody. I am so sorry for
Should I tell you? Everybody's online now again.
the break in transmission. It's due to the peculiar issue we all have. It's due to the peculiar issue we all have. So, Mr. Precious, are you with us, sir? Yes.
I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
Sorry for
All right, sir.
that.
Please, sir. The question and answer session, please.
Take the questions out.
Yes, sir. So we are waiting for you, sir. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Ruth Oladoja. Thank you very much. Ojewumi Daniel. Thank you very much. Fumilola Obadino. Thank you very much, ma. Muibat Ceramic. Can you hear me, ma? Can you hear me, ma? Oyeyemi Victor. Can you hear me, sir? I'm with you. I'm with you, sir. I'm with you, sir. Mr. Precious. Mr. Precious. Okay. Can you hear us, sir? Can you hear us? Oluwas Olushade, can you hear me, please? Olushade, can you hear me, please? Yes, Raji Abdulatif, you can hear me. I you can download this later. Mr. Precious, please unmute your mic. Okay, the name of our YouTube channel, Raji Abdulatif Abiola, is Edutams. Edutams, Edutams, Edutams. Olayode Tunde, I am here with you, please. Okay? Thank you very much, Joke Agbakus. I'm so sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly, but I am with you. Azan Mufutao, I am with you. Okay, Latifat Latundu, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Solomon Akpara, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. So while my colleague is still coming on, Precious, if you can hear me, please notify me. If you can hear me, please notify me. So while Precious is still trying to notify me, I'm going to be taking some question and answer sessions myself. So okay, Precious, can you hear me, please? Please, can you hear me, please? Okay. So Bello Abibulai, I'm going to be taking your question. He said, but the school can only determine the criteria for promotion after all the subjects has been uploaded and submitted. But the school can only determine the criteria for promotion after all the subjects. Okay, basically, what we are trying to tell you is this: the government has a default promotional settings slated directly from the ministry. You can get that when you go to the promotion settings, you can see this view default settings. So the government has a standard default setting for you. So now we understand that there are some peculiarities in some schools. For instance, some schools that some schools that they are probably in the rural area, and they can't. Some of them have a lower standard. Probably the government set a compulsory for maths and English 40%, and their own those schools in the rural standards, they probably theirs is compulsory maths and English to be 30%. So now what we are trying to tell you is this: you can choose not to use the government standard and set a promotional settings for yourself. I hope we get that now. But note and also bear in mind that the government is also seeing, the ministry is also seeing what you are setting. So you don't go and set a substandard promotional setting for them.
Very
So what we
nice.
are telling you is there is a standard settings from the ministry. But if your school is peculiar and you know you are not comfortable, your school can't take that standard, you can also set a standard for yourself. So you just say you view the default setting from the government, you see their settings. If the settings doesn't suit you, then now you click on no and you set what you want. So it is an option. You have options. There are some schools that would also want to raise their standard also. This is this is the best way for them. So let me take another question.
So good.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Akinde, are you with me?
Yeah, so you could just pick up the question, then we could
Okay,
take the
so I'm going
question.
to be asking you some questions, Mr. Akinde, so you're going to be answering for us. So on the screen, a
Okay.
question says, what about students that only did 2 terms out of 3 terms? How are you going to divide their scores? That means how is the system going to rate them? Is it going to divide it by 3 or by 2? You have the floor, sir.
Okay, all right. So well, those are all criteria that the system has already captured. So the system is only checking for active term that the student has. Say for example, this student joined our school in second term. The student did not did first term in our school. The system only did for this child only did second term and third term. So the system will only be checking for active term, which is second term and third term. All right. So that is what the system will be checking for. So there is really no worries. It's only if the child has active registration in first term. That is when the system will check both first term, second term, and third term. But say for example, the child only have active registration in your second term. So the system will only be checking for term at which the child has active registration instances for us. So it helps you to answer all of those questions directly. Yeah,
So what you are trying to tell us is the system is automatically going to divide it by the number of active terms that
active
particular
term.
child. Probably the
Exactly.
system is going to divide it by 2, if I'm correct.
Definitely,
Okay. So
definitely for
I'm going
sure.
to be taking another question by Yusuf Wasila Tiago. She said, well done, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. Please, is it compulsory to mark psychomotor and affective domain every week?
Okay. Well, that is the only thing that is compulsory to mark every day. Daily is attendance. Psychomotor is just to be marked once. For class teachers, so just to mark your psychomotor once. So it's not compulsory that you have to mark it every week. So to say, once you mark it once, it waits directly for you. The only thing that you are meant to mark daily is your attendance, which, like Princely said the other time, you need to ensure that you mark attendance for both morning and afternoon. So for psychomotor and affective domain, just mark it once, then that sorts it all for you. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm also going to be sending in another question. Um, please, okay, it's taking Mr. Ayodele's question. So okay, so this question, it says, I uploaded both by Funke Oladeji. I uploaded both CA and exam for a pupil, which reflected, but when the result was printed out, it became blank.
Okay, so quite a number of issues could be the reason why it's blank. All right, it could be that maybe you have not submitted the score for that. Maybe when you, as at the time when you uploaded the score for that student, you have not submitted the score. Remember, when you uploaded the score, there's a submit button that you have to submit the score. All right, so that could be one of the reasons why the scores is not reflecting. Okay, so maybe what you need to do right now is to first unpublish of the broadsheet. Okay, so
Okay.
go back to the upload score page, check the view score sheet, and check if you have not submit the score. All right, if you have not submit the score, ensure that you submit the score. And if you have submit the score, like I said, once you have unpublished, try to republish again, then view the result. That way, it should show in that instance, in that in that scenario. So that could be some of the reason why the result is not showing. The key thing is once you have uploaded and it is you have approved on the broadsheet, the score will automatically reflect on the child results. Once the score is reflecting on the broadsheet, it will automatically reflect on the child results. So, like I said initially, try to unpublish and go back to that score sheet and confirm if you have submitted the score. If you have not, try to submit the score and go and approve the scores from the broadsheet again. Now that should sort it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. This is another question by I know Emmanuel. We're given a score sheet to record at 70% manually. After input our scores to the OGSERA platform, are we going to fill again?
Okay. Well, I think that question should be like what the whole process that we are doing here is to ensure that there is no manual process that anybody will be doing anywhere. Okay. So once you have done all of the process online directly on the OGSERA platform, so there's no need for you to do any manual recording, which there's none which I know of for now, or which we know of for now from the ministry, because everything is processed directly from the OGSERA platform. So I'm not so sure you are doing any manual computation this time around, because everything is gotten directly. That is the same thing that you are doing on the OGSERA platform directly. So 90 to 85%, no, I'm not. I don't know anything about that for now. So it's just basically done, so to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. So this is another question by I'm coming um by Oyeyemi Victor. He said, "Can we set the standard pass mark before all the scores are recorded?"
Okay, well, that's your choice as an SPA. The key thing is that before you do any promotion, all right, before you go and approve the scores on your broadsheet, you need to ensure that you have set the promotion settings correctly. Okay, so it's just usually advisable that you do that quite early enough. So you are taking that out of your key tasks that you want to do. If you decide that okay, it is after when teachers are done uploading all their scores, that is also fine. But it's just that it's always better that you do it now that we are all talking about it, so that it won't be by that time that you now still be running back and say, okay, you have not done this, you have not done this. But it does not really matter. The only key thing there is that if you do not do that promotion setting, the system will see it like you are using the one that the ministry have set as a criteria, which also goes anyway. So what you just check it out. If it's what it is intended with what your school wants to use, fine. And if you're not using that, you can change that. So if, for example, now if I decide that I'm not going to the promotion setting, the system will automatically see that my school is using what the ministry standard has set. So now that is also fine. You know.
Okay. So I think this question also is repetition. About the is the ministry's promotional settings the final one. So I think we've answered that it is not the final one. You can choose to set another standard, but note the ministry is watching. So in case you think it's a standard question.
Okay.
So Latifat Latundu, thank you very much. We also appreciate you for joining our session. Okay, there's another question for you, Mr. Kindeni. There's another
Okay.
question which I think is important. So Ade Adewale said, please, are we to set any subject of our choice as compulsory ones?
Definitely, like I said, you just have to ensure that you follow that particular criteria that the ministry has set, which is why it is important that you have to first check that criteria before you decide to use your own. Okay, if the ministry have said that the compulsory subject is mathematics and English, it means that when you are also setting your own compulsory subject, it also has to be mathematics and English. The only difference that could come around is maybe in the pass mark. And the only reason why you might also want to change the pass mark is maybe because of the peculiarity of your school in a rural area, for example, and maybe you're not using 40 that the ministry has said. Maybe you want to lower the standard because of the kind of student population that you have. Okay, so you are using the same compulsory subject that the ministry has said. You can't go below that, and you can't add anything to that. The only thing that is permissible for you to change is the pass mark. Even in the elective subjects, the only thing that is permissible for you to change as well is that pass mark. Okay. So I think that answered that questions.
Okay. So, in order not to waste your time, Mr. Isaka, so this person said, Oshati Ramota, she said, is the third term, if the learner attends for the third term, we already stated it that if whatever term the learner attends, whatever the active term the learner attends is what the system is going to compute and also provide it. So,
Yeah.
yes, Sami Deborah, can we still have access to this video again? Yes, ma, you can have access to this video again. Just come back, and that is one of the reasons why we are emphasizing that you please subscribe to our channel, so you can easily, the YouTube can easily put it in the top channel. So, okay, there's a question for you, sir. Please,
Okay.
how can we print the broadsheet by Shogun and Michael?
So could you take that question again?
Please, how can we print broadsheets?
Okay, okay. Well, that's like kind of like a simple question. On your broadsheet page, there is export broadsheet at the top. All right. So if you're exporting, you export is helping you to export it to like an Excel sheet, and from that Excel sheet you can print it to any version you want to print. So the broadsheet is exportable, means that you can download the broadsheet, and once you are able to download it, then you can decide to go ahead and print it. All right. So once you're on your broadsheet page, you will see that button export broadsheet. It should be there somewhere around your broadsheet page. Once you export it, it downloads it for you in an Excel version. So once that is downloaded, you could now decide to print it. Wherever you want to print it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think you've answered Ayon Leke Adeshola's question. Can the broadsheet be printed? Yes, ma'am. The broadsheet can be printed. Okay, so another question. Well done,
Please, sorry.
editor.
Sorry, please. I would like to ask Mr. Isiaka a question. I see as compulsory here. The
Okay.
question says, if the student pass one out of the compulsory subjects and four in elective, is he going to be promoted?
Of course,
Hope you can
no.
get the question.
That criteria is kind of like very straightforward. If the criteria, for example, is that the child must pass two compulsory subjects, mathematics and English, 40 in mathematics and English, and 40 in any other what's it called elective subject. So it means that for that child to be automatically promoted, that child must pass maths and English and must get that exact pass mark, minimum of that pass mark for that child to be promoted. So the answer to that question is no. So for a child to pass, for a child to be promoted according to the criteria that the ministry have set, the child must have 40, minimum of 40 pass mark in mathematics and English and any other subject that the student is taking. Yes, I guess that answers the question, Precious.
All right, all right. Let me ask this one more question. All right, he said, please, are we to set a subject of our choice as compulsory ones? That is, like for example, in science class now, there are some subjects that are
Okay.
seen as compulsory, like physics, chemistries, and the rest. Are we to set those subjects as compulsory, or they are to be part of the elective according to the ministry criteria?
Okay. Of course, definitely no, no, no. Compulsory subject are compulsory subject. All right. Every other subject are taken as elective subject. All right. You will notice that in that promotion setting, you have compulsory, elective, and you also have trade subject. All right. So in the elective subjects now, I am listing out all the subjects that we are doing. All right. Say for example, for the junior section, for example, we take a total of 12 subjects, including math and English. All right. And we have said that math and English is compulsory. So we have just 10 subjects. So remaining 10 subjects. So in the elective subjects, now I'm going to list out all that remaining 10 subjects and say that okay, the student must pass four out of those 10. The student must get 40, minimum of 40 before the child can be promoted. So I think that answered that question directly.
So if
So
you
I
if you
can't
get
set
you well
compulsory
now,
subject. I can't set compulsory subject as an elective subject. We just
all
have to
right.
ensure
So
that we follow that same guideline, that same criteria that we see in that promotion setting when we review the default setting that is there for our school.
all right, I think that is self-explanatory enough. And to Mr. Adegbenga Ominuga that is asking the question in another constructive way, we can hear what Mr. Isiaka said, Akindeyin said.
Okay.
He said the compulsory subjects should be followed according to the ministry criteria should be followed. For all classes, according to him, the compulsory subjects are just mathematics and English. If I can get to Mr. Akindeyin. Mr. Akindeyin.
Yes, definitely. Compulsory subject are
Yeah.
mathematics and English. Yes,
Okay, yeah.
yes,
The
for sure.
compulsory subject for the all classes are mathematics and histories, while the other ones are regarded as
Yeah,
elective. So thank you. And Mrs. Queensley, you can
that's
take up the thing from there. Miss Queensley, Miss Queensley, all right. Can you hear me, please?
okay. Please proceed. No, I can't. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you now. All right.
Yes, yes, I can.
Uh, I think I should so that you can just rest for like a minute or two. Let me answer this question I'm seeing here.
Okay, please proceed.
Alright. He said in a system where you upload CA and check on broadsheet and it's showing zero, what can we do? That is in a situation, if I can get this question right, you are saying you uploaded CA for students and on the
Mm-hmm.
broadsheet you are seeing zero. Ah, to answer to that, either means you are uploading an empty file. Before you go
Definitely.
to broadsheet you check the scores that are uploaded. Under upload scores, at the front of each subject you will see total number of students registered, and at the front you will see total number of scores uploaded at the front.
Mm-hmm.
So if the scores you uploaded are successful, you are going to see that at the front of each subject under upload scores before you go to broadsheet. So you seeing zero on the broadsheet means you have not uploaded the scores successfully. So it is advisable for you to go back to uploading of scores, check the check if the scores are uploaded. You can also fill score sheets to be sure if these scores are uploaded, because if the scores you uploaded are successfully uploaded, you are going to see either CA or exam. You are going to see it on view score sheet when you view score sheet under upload scores. So view score sheet to be sure those scores are uploaded, and if they are not uploaded successfully, please kindly go back and upload the correct broadsheet, the correct WPS file. Thank you for that. Miss Priestley, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so you can take up the question and answer
Okay,
this
thank you
thing.
very much. So, Mr. Oladimeji Oyemi, you said, how do we subscribe to Edutam's YouTube channel? Okay, when you search for Edutam's, there is a red button which you see subscribe. So kindly subscribe, kindly click on it, and also click the notification bells in order for you to get updated contents and information as regards OGSERA and EduTerms as a whole. So I have a question by Oniyide Dokas. As a parent, how can I check my child result on OGSERA? That is very simple. Every student has a learner ID. So once you know your child's learner ID, kindly go to ogsera.gov.ng, and you as soon you log in with your child's learner ID with a default password of 1234567 8. I repeat, kindly log in using your child's learner ID and with a default password of 1234567 8, and you log in, you see whatever your child is meant to see. You're going to see your child's results. At the same time, you can also see a platform there, which is FET, so that your child can also learn using FET simulation along the line, and you can learn with your child. So I'm going to be picking another question. What if, okay, I'm sorry, okay, Mr. Kinden. The question says, what
Yes,
if
please.
students pass one out of English or maths?
Yeah, I think that's like that criteria is quite like kind of like straightforward enough. Pass mark is that compulsory subject. That child, the student must pass maths and English. Okay, so if that student does not pass both subjects, if the student does not pass that minimum score in both subjects, it means that that student definitely cannot be promoted following that particular criteria. Okay, so that's why what we can do in that case is if the ministry have set that its own criteria is 40 pass mark for maths and English, for example, because of your school area, we've said this over and over, for example, because of your school peculiarity, you now decided to bring it down to 35. All right, so that's still kind of like reasonable enough. But definitely that child must pass that two compulsory subject and any other elective subject that you have said that they should pass before the system will automatically promote them. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question here. It says um hello last term. Okay. Can you I hope you can see it, Mr. Kinde. Hello
Yes,
last
please, you
term.
can.
I uploaded scores for my students, but not all of them appeared when I checked up till now.
Yeah, okay. So we usually have scenarios like this quite often. Okay. There are many reasons that this could happen. Okay. If you uploaded scores, definitely, all right, and you have submitted the scores, all right, the scores will show on your broadsheet. Okay. The reason that the scores will not show for those students, maybe the subject are not registered for those students, or as at when you are uploading, you did not submit the scores fully. Okay, so a lot of reasons could actually be why this kind of case is happening. Okay, so what I would say in this particular scenario is that go back to your upload score page. All right, in that score page, that page is like if you check well, that page tells you total number of registered students. Okay, say for example, I have 30 registered students. Total uploaded for CA. It's going to tell me how many students did I uploaded scores for CA. Total uploaded for exam. So that page alone, whenever time you upload, try to check it and see. Don't just say you uploaded and that is it. Once you are doing, hold on for a while and check that page and say, okay, total registered students is 30. Total uploaded FE 29, total uploaded for them 29. So it shows that one score is missing for a child that have not uploaded yet. So that page itself will tell me whether the scores uploaded successfully for some students or not. So anytime you upload, we should try to always check that upload score page for that analysis before proceeding. So in this case now, what I would advise that the person should do is, okay, try to probably first disapprove the broadsheet. Once you have disapproved the broadsheet, so go back to the score page. Okay, now go and check page for that particular subject that you are saying. Register students, look at it. Total uploaded for CA, total uploaded for exam. Because it is total uploaded for exam and total uploaded for CA that will definitely display on your broadsheet. And whatever is displaying on your broadsheet is what would also display on the student report card. Okay. So in this case now, what I would advise you to do, Mr. Oduton, is to, like I said, unpublish and go back to the broadsheet and go and double check. And if that's it, just try and re-upload again. But anytime you are uploading scores, especially now that we're in the upload score period, anytime you're uploading score, try to always check total registered students, benchmark it with total uploaded CA, total uploaded for exam. So that also helps to guide you that, okay, you have uploaded correct, you have uploaded for the total number of students that you have in that class. So I think that's just what you can do in that particular scenario. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Isiaka. So Mr. Precious, I have a question for you. So this person said, please, how can SPA forge his or her class score if there is an error? How can
All right,
SPA forge his or her class score if there is an error?
all right, all right. No, thank you. So, as an SPA, if you want to purge a score due to an error. First thing you must do is that you must ensure the HOS has unpublished the broadsheet, and as the SPA you have disapproved the broadsheet and reverse submission as an SPA. If all this has been done, okay, you can now go to upload scores. Under upload scores, you click the button upload scores under results by the side module, and on the button as an SPA you see that. So when you click on upload score, you select program and the class. When you select the program and the class, the action button at the front of the subject you want to push the scores for. You click the action button, and you will see push score button. Before you can see push score button under that place, you must have disapproved and reverse submission. If you haven't disapproved and reverse submission, you won't see that button there. So you must have disapproved and reverse submission. Then you click on push score. After clicking on push score, you will be asked to input a password, to write out a password. The password the system is asking for is the SPA password. The default password for everybody is 128, that is 1234567 8, but some have changed the password to their own personal password. So if you want to input the password to purge the score, make sure it is your current password you are using to log in as the SPA you type. It is the current password you are using as an SPA that the system is asking for. Then you input the password and you click on proceed, and the scores will be successfully purged. Thank you for that. Miss Kingsley, are you there? All right, all right, all right. It's like she's having kind of network problem. Let me take one more question before she comes in. All right.
Okay,
This
Precious,
question
I think you
says,
can just take the next question. So while I respond,
"Is that
you could just take up the next question while I
all
respond.
right?
Like,
All right. All right. This question says, when are you going to set the promotion criteria for primary section? Because I checked this afternoon and it was blank.
okay,
All right. Will you answer to
okay,
that, Mr.
yes.
Abidin? All right.
Yes, definitely. I'm so sorry. I really want to apologize that us in the primary section that we are still yet to see that primary promotion criteria. Hopefully, before tomorrow, the promotion criteria will be up. The curriculum department are still trying to. I'm sure before tomorrow they would you would all see it there. All right. For those of us in the primary section, so then we can now follow suit what we have there. But I'm sure for those of us in the junior and the senior section, we have seen the criteria standard that the ministry have set that we can all pick up from there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Akindele.
So you can take the next question.
All right, let me take this question. I think people like 3 to 4 people have dropped this same question, and the question says, "What do we do to KG classes that the system registered 12 subjects for them?" And I can see another person asking that you register only 2 subjects for KG or nursery classes, and you are on the broadsheet, you are seeing total number of subjects registered to be 12, 13, and the rest. All right. First of all, we are sorry for that. We are sorry for that. What you just do to reach this thing is go to subject registration, click go to subject registration, click select program and class. After select program, that is, you select KG and you select KG2 or KG1A, and other like that. And after clicking on that, a button, 2 buttons will come up. The 2 buttons that will come up is register subject for all students, and by the side see the button for uh, unregistered subject for the students, that is the unregistered unwanted subject for the students. You click the second button that is displaying unregistered subject for. I'm coming. Let me go there to be sure. All right. The 2 buttons that will come up now under this under subject after selecting the program and the classes. The first button is register subject for all students, and beside that button there is clear unregistered subject. That is clear unregistered subject. You have to click, in this case you have to click clear on register subject. Click on clear on register subject button. After clicking on that button, then you go back to the broadsheet as an SPA. As an SPA, you disapprove and approve the broadsheet again. After doing that, everything will be sorted out. It's as simple as that. Everything will be sorted. So you, all you have to do is go to subject registration, select program and class. That is, in this case, program will be KG class, and the program will be KG class, that is kindergarten. After selecting kindergarten, you select the class. You see KG1A. If you have more than one arm, you see KG1A or KG1B. But if you have more than one arm for the KG, that is, you have KG1A, KG1B, it is advisable you to go to KG1A, click on clear on register subject for KG1A, click on clear on register subject for KG1B, click on clear on register subject if how many do it, click that subject, that button, for all the class arms you have in that class. Click that button and you go back to the broadsheet, you disapprove and approve the broadsheet again, and everything will be sorted out. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right, Miss Chrisley and Mr. Akindeni, are you there?
Okay, yes, I am. I am here.
All right,
So
you
I'm going to
can.
be picking some couple of questions also. So I've been seeing questions as regards the secondary schools that they have different departmental courses, the sciences. So I'm just going to pick one and
Um, yes, can you hear me?
okay, can you
Oh,
hear
I
me?
think now I can hear you.
So
Can
I'm
you hear
sorry,
me?
Mr. Akinwumi, before you move further, I think basically I want this question to be answered for quite a lot of people. So basically what they are trying to talk about is, in the secondary section, where for the sciences, their compulsory subjects are probably physics, chemistry, and biology, while for the commercial, probably accounting, marketing, and stuff like that. And while literature would be probably CRS, literature in English, the arts for the arts class. So now they are trying to know where they can place, for them now, those departmental subjects quite seem to be compulsory subjects, opposed to other GSS students whereby their own major compulsory subjects are just mathematics and English. So they are trying to know probably if they should place both the physics, chemistry, and biology in the compulsory section and not elective. So please, what do you think? What do you have to say to this, sir? Mr. Kinane?
Yes, thank you so much, Quincy, for that question. All right, I think this question is kind of like clear enough. All right, so the standard is compulsory subject, mathematics and English. So if my department is economics, for business, for example. So it means that the student must pass any other four subjects in the business section. So it's kind of like a straightforward criteria that we should not just try to mix it up. If my department is science department, compulsory subject that the child must that the student must pass mathematics and English. So any other subject, any other four subject that the student must pass, I would also list those subjects there. All right. So it is just like simple compulsory subject, two subjects. Any other compulsory subject, four, I think it's four or five or four or five subjects. So you just list out all the remaining subjects, and once the student pass all of those any four from those subjects, then that student will automatically be promoted from to the next class school. So it doesn't whether it is business department, whether it is science department, whether it is the humanities department. Okay, it is the subject that I have set there that the system would pick from and will use to also promote the child to the next class. And I think that what we would also be doing, because I noticed that we have more questions and we are very running out of time. What we'll be doing is that maybe we will need to also schedule another version of this call session for next week. I hope that that will be doable, so that we'll be able to respond to more questions. So for those of us that will still have more questions, we could also drop them in the WhatsApp sections. All right. By next week, I think next week Tuesday, we'll try to also have another section so that we'll be able to respond to more questions that are coming in this area as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kindeni. So I'm going to be chipping in something. I think while we were explaining the
Please check your mic. Can you hear me?
so so I've been seeing multiple questions about for some of our schools that our standard is more than what the ministry sets. Probably our standard is about 50% or 60%. Do we still have to stick to that of the ministry? What we were basically talking about when we're saying the personal standard for each of those schools, it is not limited to a lower standard or a lower grade. So if your school does more than 40%, which the ministry sets initially as a default setting, please kindly increase yours and put it in whatever standard you think is comfortable. So we are going to be rounding up now, and I'm trying to let you know that this session is also going to continue next week Tuesday. We are going to be having another session next week Tuesdays. And I know we didn't answer all of those questions. Please drop them on our help desk. That's helpdesk.edutams.net, and also drop it on your various WhatsApp group. Please drop them on our help desk. Can you hear me, please? No audio. Please drop them on our help desk and also drop them on our various WhatsApp groups. We are going to pick up all of those questions from there, and we are going to also answer them. So once again, I want to say thank you very much for joining us for this session. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of your effort and for the painstaking effort consistently and the cooperation for making Ogun State's educational system a better one. So I am Queen Dadimola again, and I'm going to see you next week, Tuesday. So please make it a date with us next week Tuesday, 3 p.m. Please make it a date with us next week, Tuesday. Please make it. And for those saying, if the ministry has approved my new promotional standard, please just set your promotion standard. Leave the rest to the ministry. Please just set your promotional standard and leave the rest to the ministry. So once again, thank you so much, and we hope our third term promotion examination is going to be seamless and is going to be stress-free, as that is the aim of EduTime. So once again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also click the notification bells so you can get notifications of every information we drop. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week, Tuesday. Do have a great day and enjoy your week. Thank you very much.